Please be seated. Good morning and welcome to Wharton's commencement ceremony for our doctoral graduates. Today is a special day for so many reasons. We come together to celebrate your monumental achievements from your time at Wharton and look ahead to everything you have yet to accomplish. But before we do any of that, we must acknowledge that today would not be possible without the support of a multitude of people, many of whom are here today to celebrate you. So without further ado, let me welcome our guests. Welcome to the faculty and staff who are here today in support of these tremendous students. Welcome to the families, partners, friends, and loved ones joining us to celebrate this momentous occasion. But most of all, welcome to our amazing Wharton PhD graduates. It is fortuitous that we convene here today to honor this esteemed group, because right now, the world is in need of scholars like you who will challenge conventional ways of thinking and doing. We're living in a time of incredible uncertainty, and we face global challenges at a scale and magnitude we have never seen. We are simultaneously wrestling with the mounting impacts of climate change, the proliferation of misinformation, inequitable access to healthcare, and volatile financial markets. At the same time, the world is increasingly looking to the business arena for leadership and answers to our escalating global challenges. As current crises evolve and new issues emerge, Wharton PhDs are uniquely prepared to answer this call. You are the product of the largest business PhD program in the world, and the intellectual heft you bring to the academy and the business community is unmatched. You are the scholars who will uncover the evidence-based knowledge that is so urgently needed to usher in an era of growth, resiliency, and greatness. But your potential for impact also comes with a duty to discover and disseminate insights in a responsible way. Responsible research isn't just about acting ethically when collecting data. It is also about recognizing contemporary social values and the principle that business can and should be leveraged as a force for good. Forward-thinking business scholars like you must consider the impacts of business action on our natural world and the people who inhabit it, and ensure that the people, communities, societies that are less resource-rich are not left behind. Of course, these are not foreign concepts to any of you, because engaging in responsible, impactful research is a distinctive part of the Wharton PhD experience. It is the essence of Joseph Wharton's founding vision for this school, which was to prepare leaders for business and public service who would make a positive impact in the world. Yes, your Wharton education has prepared you for a future of scholarly and societal impact. You know how to think analytically and creatively to push the boundaries of your fields of study. You have been exposed to a wide, diverse range of ideas and have learned to explore challenges from every possible angle. And you've worked alongside peers and mentors who will continue to support you throughout your career and will become lifelong friends. Your research will inform other scholars, it will influence what is taught to students in college and graduate schools, and it has the potential to affect economies, communities, and public policy around the world. That's an awesome responsibility, but it's also an invigorating one. As you leave Wharton and pursue new intellectual pursuits, I hope that you bring the values of responsible research with you. I challenge you to take on the subjects and issues that are not typically explored, and I urge you to keep asking and answering the questions that will advance society and lift people up around the world. Congratulations to our doctoral graduates. May you continue to create meaningful knowledge and find success in all you do. Congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Wharton's Deputy Dean, Nancy Rothbard, to the podium.
Thank you, Erica, for that warm welcome and introduction. I'd like to extend my very own heartfelt welcome to our graduates today, to your families and friends, and to everyone who has supported you and accompanied you through this crucible that is higher education. Because achieving a doctorate is like being in a crucible. The pursuit of learning is joyful. It broadens our understanding of the world and our perspective of all of the different people we share it with. But it's also exhausting. You've sacrificed time with your family, friends, time for yourselves. And this program hasn't been easy. It requires dedication, creativity, energy, passion, and purpose. I promise you that it's worth it. This is the very definition of going through a crucible. In pottery, a crucible is used to melt down the old to create the new. A crucible is a trial by fire. It's a metaphor that shouldn't be lost on you as you forge ahead in your careers and your lives. Going through something hard shapes you and creates the skills to meet new challenges. Often we need to shake off the adversity and face the future with renewed passion and resilience. Today marks the start of something new. Everyone here has a story. Sometimes it's easy to gloss over the more difficult parts of our journeys and tell the fairy tale version of our lives. We live in a highly edited, highly curated world where we want others to see us only in polished perfection. But reality is often nonlinear and messy, and the fairy tale version can be misleading. I have a fairy tale version of my own story that people often assume based on publicly available information. I grew up here in Philadelphia, where my family ran an office supply and furniture business. I went to Brown, then to Harvard, then to the University of Michigan, then to Northwestern, before coming back here to Philly and to Wharton. I met my husband in grad school, and we both joined the faculty at Wharton together. We got married, we had 2 beautiful children, and here I am standing in front of you today. Sounds very linear and ideal. And it has been, but it's also been hard, confusing, filled with tough decisions, uncertainty, and doubt. When I got into Brown, people in my high school community were shocked, and they felt no compunction in expressing that shock out loud to both me and my family. Once at Brown, I realized that I was the only kid from a public school in my dorm. I didn't know how to study. Frankly, I was overwhelmed that first year. It was a crucible, a trial by fire. In that discomfort, I needed to learn how to shake off the obstacles rather than have them pull me down. I needed to learn how to change and grow from them. Now, I could tell you similar stories about each step of my journey, but let me fast forward to my doctoral program. My doctoral program got off to a great start. I had a number of research interests, found several faculty who took me on as a mentee. Everything was going great. However, in my 4th year, a series of unexpected events occurred. My primary advisor left the university. My 2 other key mentors were on sabbatical. In addition, my significant other was ahead of me in the program and was about to take his first job in another city. And on top of all of this, I was feeling mounting financial pressure to finish because I had no funding in my 5th year. I had no choice but to shake it off, be resilient, and use the adversity to fuel my creativity despite these challenges. I changed my dissertation topic in a weekend. I channeled every ounce of creativity and attention into solving these problems. It wasn't easy, but I managed to get a new advisor and come up with an innovative dissertation proposal that was better than any of my initial ideas. Of course, it took many months to work out the theory, collect new data, and analyze it. But this idea formed the bedrock of my career. Looking back, I realized that while I was struggling through this crucible, what I was really doing was charting my own unique course, one that didn't always conform to tradition. It's not that I always ignored people's advice, but I did realize that I needed to find my own path. Several people told me that I shouldn't do a postdoc because I needed to get a tenure track position right away. But I realized that the postdoc, while not a linear move, was one that offered me greater option value and possibility. And so I did it anyway. Lots of folks warned me not to have children until I got tenure. Fortunately for my kids, I didn't listen to that advice either, and I had my 2 babies while I was an assistant professor at Wharton. Some people advised me not to take on an administrative role because they thought I wouldn't be happy giving up my research. I found an alternative. I work a lot and do both. Whatever choices you make, there are always opportunities to learn and grow, even if those choices don't seem like the most linear next step. The key is to pick yourself up, shake it off, and improve. I'm sharing these details about my life because I want you to know that being true to yourself and following your own path is always the right choice. Looking up to role models who chart their own course can be incredibly inspiring. Think about people you may admire, like towering figures in your field, or leaders in the world like Mahatma Gandhi, or our newly minted Penn Nobel Prize winners, Drew Weissman and Kathleen Carrico. Or from the world of entertainment, one of my favorite musicians, Taylor Swift, who all charted their own course. Now, you certainly don't have to be a Swiftie like me to appreciate what she has been able to accomplish by charting her own course in an industry that likes to dictate what success should look like and sound like. I find her career story remarkable from a business perspective. For me, it's her gutsy business moves that make her success so fascinating. She pulled her songs from Apple Music when it wouldn't pay artists for music streamed during trial periods. That action forced the platform to change its policy. When her first record label was acquired by a private equity firm that sold her original recordings to another company, Taylor took back control by re-releasing new versions of the same songs. Now, we may not all love Taylor's version, but this move was remarkable. Moreover, her ability to cross genres is indicative of both tremendous creativity and adaptability. Whether you know it or not, these are the qualities that have enabled all of you to reach this moment. They can also carry you forward. Moreover, we all face barriers and setbacks. The resilience that helps you overcome these obstacles is what differentiates you, me, and these inspiring leaders and artists. Think about the big picture. Chart your own course, but remember to make adjustments along the way. Learn what you don't know, and listen when others have something valuable to offer. Be authentic and vulnerable. Understand that the journey isn't solo. Make sure to bring everyone along. I don't want you to interpret my advice narrowly. Every song Taylor writes isn't a hit, and every project you undertake won't be either. You'll stumble, you'll fall. You'll have your own crucible moments that define you. But what matters is your recovery. Shake it off and keep going. Practice resilience until it becomes habit. Build relationships with good people who will help pick you up when you're too shaky to do it on your own. Never be too proud or too isolated to ask for help. Our lives are marked by moments. This is a happy one. Joy at your accomplishments, relief that you've made it here, and anticipation about what comes next. As this celebration comes to a close and you walk out of this hall towards the rest of your life, I want to leave you with a little inspiration from one of my favorite artists, you guessed it, Taylor Swift. From her song, Shake It Off, she sings, "Players gonna play, haters gonna hate, I'm just gonna shake it off." Be adaptable, resilient, and make sure you stay open to all of the wonderful possibilities that await you. Congratulations to all. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the Vice Dean for the Wharton Doctoral Programs, Nancy Zhang. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica and Nancy, for your heartfelt remarks, and also for all of your backstage support of our PhD students throughout the years that they've been here. And I can feel your excitement and anticipation. Let me find my remarks. So I want to offer you my heartfelt congratulations. And I want to say that today, we're not just celebrating you, our graduates, on your hard-earned milestone, but we would also like to acknowledge and thank all of those people who offered crucial support to you during your journey here. So graduates, look behind at your family, your parents, your friends, your partners, your mentors, and look across the hall at your mentors and the staff members who have supported you. I want to personally thank all of you for being there for our graduates, for your belief in them as they pursue their passion. And for all of your graduates whose loved ones cannot make it here today, I know that today they are no less proud and that you are no less grateful. So in a few minutes, we will start the conferral of degrees and the hooding of our PhDs. I just want to say that in this year, 2024, we as a society often opt for simplicity. We have done away with many rituals and formalisms. However, the PhD hooding is a tradition that we value, and a ritual that I feel has never lost its meaning. The PhD hooding not only recognizes this tremendous milestone that you, our graduates, have reached as a scholar, and this advancement into the next stage of your career, it is also symbolic and of the truly special relationship between you and your mentors here at Wharton. As you advance from here and start your careers in the years to come, you will also surely serve as mentors to the younger versions of yourselves. And as the mentors in this room can testify, this is a role that carries with it tremendous privilege as well as loads of hard work. And also, before we confer our degrees, I also want to recognize and thank all of you who went out of your way to contribute to the Wharton community in terms of service and leadership. Despite the pressures of finishing your dissertation, of doing the top-notch research that all of us strive for, you have cared for your peers, mentored undergraduates as TAs and as our summer mentors and in our directed reading program. You have organized events for WDC and WASABA, and you have served as organizers and panelists for ideas and our various outreach events. I want to thank you for caring, as our community depends on your input. I want to acknowledge all of you who have contributed, But I also want to just highlight a few individuals who, throughout their years here, went above and beyond the call of duty to contribute in leadership and service. So when I call your names, could you please stand up to be recognized? Gina Kenny. Gina was past president of WDC, and she has tirelessly offered her service to this organization and to organizing events for her fellow peers. And also, Catherine Broomberg. Thank you, Catherine, for all of your leadership in Wasaba over the years. And finally, Mackenzie Preston. Thank you, Mackenzie, for all that you have contributed to ideas, the PhD project, and our outreach events. Thank you. So, as you wait for your turn to walk up on stage, I hope that you've really taken this moment, because for most, if not all of you, this will be probably your last degree. The next time you go to a graduation, my bet is that you will not be a student, and perhaps you will be sitting across the aisle as a mentor. I remember my own PhD graduation 19 years ago. I graduated from the Department of Statistics at Stanford University. What my dissertation was about is no longer important. And at that time, I could not have imagined what I would become today, which is the professor of statistics and data science. Why? Because data science as a term did not exist back then, except for probably in niche areas. I only learned of data science a few years after my PhD. So what am I trying to say? For our graduates today, just because you're getting a degree in a PhD does not mean you know what you're getting into. Although this is perhaps the last graduation that you will attend as a student, you will not stop being one. I can guarantee you that every day now, almost 20 years after my own graduation, I feel that I work just as hard, even harder perhaps than I was as a PhD student, and I learn just as much because I'm pushed by young people like you in my field. I hope that you will continue to push yourself and continue to reinvent yourselves. And that is what I hope for you. When each of you come up to get your diplomas, I will announce your thesis title. That may define you as a researcher today, but I hope that you will treat it only as a launching pad to new topics and new questions to investigate for tomorrow. But I hope that the friendships that you have built at Wharton will be the invariant in your lives, staying with you and deepening for the decades to come. Again, congratulations to all of you. So I will start the conferral of degrees. You have heard these instructions, but let me just repeat it again. The graduates will carry their hoods over their left arm to the stage, and after I call your name, both the graduates and the graduate advisors will meet at the center of the stage. And the graduates will give the hood to the advisors to place over your head, and then the deputy dean will present your certificate, and then you will pose for a photo, okay? And then you will exit, the graduate and the advisors will exit the stage together. So we will start with accounting. Okay, so our first graduate from accounting is Nathan Bourne. Nathan's dissertation title is The Unintended Consequences of Global Tax Asymmetries on Foreign Risk-Taking. Nathan's advisor is Jennifer Bloom, and Jennifer Bloom will hood. Our next graduate from accounting is James Lee. James' dissertation is titled The Financial Statements of Investment Companies. James' advisors are Brian Bushy and Bob Holthausen, and Brian Bushy has hooded. Our next graduate from accounting is Irina Luneva. Irina's dissertation title is Explaining Debt Covenant Amendments, a Structural Approach. Irina's advisors are Paul Fisher and Kathy Strand. Paul Fisher Woodhood. Next, we will have our graduates from Applied Economics. Our first graduate from Applied Economics is Rebecca Jorgensen. Rebecca's dissertation title is Essays in Real Estate and Urban Economics. Rebecca's advisor is Benjamin Keyes, who is hooding her. Our next graduate from Applied Economics is Gina Kenny. Gina's dissertation is titled Essays in Urban and Labor Economics. Gina's advised by Fernando Ferreira, and Fernando Ferreira will hood. Next, we will have our graduates from finance. Our first graduate from finance is Anna Helmke. Anna's dissertation title is Essays on Index Investing. Anna was advised by Itai Goldstein and Yao Zheng will hood. Our next graduate from finance is Sergey Sarkisian. Sergey's dissertation title is Instant Payment Systems and Competition for Deposits. Sergey is advised by Joao Gomes and Sasha Indarte, and Joao and Sasha will both hood. Our next graduate from finance is Patrick Schultz. Patrick's thesis is Essays in Quantitative Microeconomics and Finance. Patrick was advised by Tim Langvoid, and Tim Langvoid will hood. Next, we will have on our stage our graduates from Healthcare Management and Economics. Our first graduate from Healthcare Management and Economics is Charles Gray. Charles' dissertation title is The Incidence of the 340B Program, The Effects of Contract Pharmacies on Part D Premiums and Reimbursements. Charles's advisor is Abby Alpert, and Abby Alpert is hooding. Our next graduate from Healthcare Management and Economics is Sarah Schutz. Sarah's dissertation title is Competition, Innovation, and Prices, Lessons from the Pharmaceutical Industry, and Sarah is advised by Abby Albert, and Abby Albert is hooding her. Next, we will have our graduates from management. Our first graduate from management is Samantha Darnell. Samantha's dissertation is titled Polarized Perceptions, News Media Polarization, and the Antecedents and Consequences of Politically Balanced Social Approval. Samantha's advisor is Mary Hunter McDonald, and Zeke Hernandez is hooding her. Our next graduate from management is Mackenzie Preston. Mackenzie's dissertation is titled Moral Framing as a Double-Edged Sword for Motivating Majority Group Leaders to Support DEI Issues. Mackenzie is advised by Andrew Carton and Michael Park, and Andrew and Michael are both hooding him. Our next graduate from management is Jared Parker Shrugs. Jared's dissertation title is The Rejection of Work as Worth, the Conceptualization, Emergence, and Consequences of Employee Anti-Work Orientation. Jared was advised by Michael Park and Ingrid Nambark, and Michael and Ingrid are hooding him. Next, we will have our graduate from marketing, Andrew Morningstar. Andrew's dissertation title is Increasing Help-Seeking Behavior and Opportunities. He is advised by Catherine Lamberton and Patty Williams, and both Catherine and Patty is hooding him. Next, we will have our graduates from Operations, Information, and Decisions. Our first graduate is Dylan Bowen. Dylan's dissertation title is Multiple Inference with Applications in Social Science. Dylan is advised by Joe Simmons, and Joe Simmons is hooding him. Our next graduate from Operations Information Decisions is Atiye Jansu Iro. Atiye's dissertation title is Do Health Information Technologies Help or Hurt Vulnerable Populations? Atiye's advisor is Lauren Hitt, and Lauren is holding her. Our next graduate from Operations Information Decisions is Beatty Hu. Beatty's dissertation title is The Psychology of Belief Distributions, Manipulating and Measuring Consumer Uncertainty. Beatty is advised by Joe Simmons, and Joe Simmons is holding her. Our final graduate from Operations Information and Decisions is Pia Ramchandani. Pia's dissertation is titled Messy Big Data for Social Good. Pia's advisor is Hamza Bastani, and Alp Sungu is holding her. Finally, we will have on stage our graduates from the Department of Statistics and Data Science. Our first graduate from Statistics and Data Science is Catherine Bromberg. Catherine's dissertation is titled Novel Stratification and Matching Methods in Observational Studies. Catherine is advised by Paul Rosenbaum and Dylan Small will hood. Our next graduate from Statistics and Data Science is Patrick Chow. Patrick's dissertation title is Adversarial Robustness for Estimation and Alignment. Patrick is advised by Edgar Doberman, and Dylan Small is hooding him. Our next graduate from Statistics and Data Science is Sagnik Nandi. Sagnik's dissertation is titled Orchestrated Approximate Message Passing, a Novel Way of Multimodal Data Integration. Sagnik's advisors are Zongming Ma and Bashwar Bhattacharya, and Bashar and Zongming are hooding him. And last but not least, our final graduate from Statistics and Data Science is Elsa Yachong Yang. Elsa's dissertation is titled Estimation and Prediction Problems in Missing Data. Elsa is advised by Eric Chetkin, and Eric is hooding her. please join me in giving just another round of applause to congratulate all of our PhD students who have gotten their degrees today. So don't leave yet. As our tradition, we're going to next invite our graduates to come on stage for a group photo. Okay? Please, everybody, graduates, come on stage. Okay, and now we now invite everyone to attend brunch with us in Annenberg Plaza outside under the tent. And so we will proceed out. The dean and deputy dean will lead our procession, and they will be followed by the faculty, and then our newly graduated PhD students. So please remain in your seats until the graduate procession exits the theater. Okay?